We've all experienced symptoms like these. Often, the culprit is a virus. But what is a virus? How do viruses make living organisms sick?
These are the same questions that Russian biologist Dmitry Ivanovsky asked in 1892 when farmers complained to him about how they were losing their valuable tobacco crops to a plant disease. The tobacco plant's leaves began to turn yellow and then they would wither and fall, eventually killing the plants. Ivanovsky took leaves from a diseased plant and crushed them to produce a liquid extract. He then placed a few drops of the liquid on leaves of healthy plants. A few days later, the leaves turned yellow where the liquid was dropped. Although Ivanovsky could not see anything unusual when he looked at the liquid under a microscope, he declared that the cause of the plant disease, which he called tobacco mosaic disease, was found in the liquid from infected plants. 5 years later, Dutch scientist Martinus Bijgerink suggested that there were tiny particles in the juice that caused the disease. He named these particles viruses after the Latin word for poison. It wasn't until 1935 that the tobacco mosaic virus was finally isolated. American biochemist Wendell Stanley isolated crystals of the tobacco mosaic virus. Since living organisms do not crystallize, Stanley concluded that viruses were not truly alive. Although much has changed since 1935, one thing still holds true. Viruses are considered to be non-living. Depending on the type of virus, a virus has either DNA or RNA contained within a surface membrane or a protein capsule called a capsid. So why are viruses not considered living? For one thing, viruses do not obtain and use energy. They also do not respond to the environment or grow. Most importantly, viruses cannot reproduce on their own. In order for it to reproduce, a virus must insert its genetic material into the host cell. Most viruses have proteins on their surface membrane or capsid that bind to receptor proteins on the cell. The proteins trick the host cell to take in the whole virus, or in some cases just its genetic material. Once inside the cell, viruses use their genetic information to make multiple copies of themselves. Viral genes are transcribed by the host cell. Based on the information contained within the viral genes, the host cell makes new viral proteins and nucleic acids. These viral proteins and nucleic acids are then assembled into new viruses. Viral enzymes lyse or break open the host cell. The new viruses escape and infect other host cells, which continues this cycle. This allows viruses to replicate quickly and in large numbers. Viruses produce disease by disrupting the body's normal homeostasis. In many viral infections, viruses attack and destroy certain cells in the body, causing the symptoms of the associated disease. Poliovirus, for example, destroys cells in the nervous system, which results in paralysis. Other viruses cause infected cells to change their patterns of growth and development, sometimes leading to cancer. Other common viruses include the common cold, influenza, HIV and AIDS, chickenpox, and the human papillomavirus, or HPV. Viruses can be transmitted in different ways. Some viruses are spread through the air or through contact with contaminated objects or body fluids. Still others can be spread if you come into contact with certain living organisms that carry the virus. In most cases, the best way to protect against viral diseases is to prevent them. A lot of the most common viruses have vaccinations that have been developed from less harmful or inactive forms of the virus. Getting vaccinated against these viruses is usually very effective in preventing disease caused by those viruses. Other effective ways to help prevent infection include washing your hands frequently and avoiding contact with sick individuals. If you're sick, reduce your contact with others and cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. In recent years, limited progress has been made in developing a handful of antiviral drugs that attack specific viral enzymes that host cells do not have. These treatments include an antiviral medication that can help speed recovery from the flu virus, and others that have helped prolong the lives of people infected with HIV. It is important to realize that because viruses replicate so quickly, their genetic makeup can change rapidly. It is important to continue researching viruses so we can monitor these changes and learn how to protect ourselves against them.